In the last few days, both President Trump and Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State of the US, have said that there are strong evidence that the virus, which originated in Wuhan, came from a lab. A laboratory which, by the way, the US have been funding for the last many years. Let's take a look at where the whole situation is in today's video.
Mr. Secretary, have you seen anything that gives you high confidence that it originated in that Wuhan lab?
Martha, there's enormous evidence that that's where this began. We've said from the beginning that this was a virus that originated in Wuhan. I can tell you that there is a significant amount of evidence that this came from that laboratory in Wuhan.
Remember that Mike Pompeo is the former CIA director, so he is very familiar with intelligence data and he knows how to understand it. And at the same time, he's very familiar with the Chinese misinformation campaign. So I don't think that he'll be saying something like this unless he has good reasons to do so. Alright, so let's take a look at what Trump had to say about the same issue.
Have you seen anything at this point that gives you a high degree of confidence that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was the origin of this virus?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
What gives you a high degree of confidence that this originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
I can't tell you that. I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Okay, so these two statements, they have kind of prompted the US and Australia to unite and ask for an independent team to go to Wuhan and to do research about how the virus really originated. And of course, the Chinese are not really loving this proposal. You see, Australia and China have been in a kind of a war of words lately, even with military close encounters. So I don't think it's likely that the Chinese will commit themselves to anything that the Australian government is going to offer in terms of independent investigations. But I don't want to go too much into that issue, as I plan for my second video of today to be all about that subject. So if you're really interested in that, subscribe to my channel and you'll get a notification once I post that video, or just go to my channel and check it out in there. Alright, so back to the now famous lab in Wuhan. Did you know that the US have been funding the lab for years? By $3.7 million, no less. So the US government said that they had to do this because they are banning all what they call monster germ research because of a few near incidents. So instead they funded similar research in other countries, in this case the bat diseases in Wuhan. At this point we would all love some answers, but I just don't think that it's likely that an independent team of researchers will be allowed into China to assess the situation. It just doesn't seem likely. In the beginning, when the virus originated, the WHO was supposed to step in with an independent team of researchers to assess the situation, find out if the virus could be contained, and how far it had spread so far. And they weren't even allowed in. I mean, the Chinese government is funding a lot of the money that comes into the WHO, so it kind of makes sense that they would bend to the will of the Chinese government. But if they're not allowed in, I doubt that these guys will be allowed in, these independent guys. The Chinese government just won't allow itself to lose face more than it already has over these issues. But I will be following the developments and bringing you guys updates as soon as they come in. So remember to subscribe to my channel and you'll be getting a notification when they come out. So obviously the best situation would be in the future if the WHO didn't just take the words of the Chinese government and run with it. That is the main reason why President Trump defunded the WHO. The problem with that is when the US stopped funding the WHO, the Chinese government saw an opportunity and they stepped in. They just poured in a massive investment and they committed to doing so year after year. If you thought it was unlikely before that the WHO was going to investigate China, it certainly just became much more unlikely now. This looks like one of those thank you investments from China, where they say, thank you, you did as we requested, now here you go, here's some money. So what do you think? Did the virus really come from a lab in Wuhan? Or is this, as the Chinese are saying, just spin from the US government to score some kind of blame game points? Leave the comments in the comment section below and I'll make sure to reply to you. Thank you so much for watching my video and have a great day.